Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how we do our cheesecake pops here at Gateaux. We start with a homemade cheesecake. We bake it in a square pan. We use Dawn brownie for the base, and then we pop it in the freezer, let it get nice and solid so that we can cut it into these really clean squares, and then just put a nice popsicle stick in them. So these ones I'm gonna dip in some colored chocolate. We have lots of different chocolate colors that we start with. We already have pre-made colors, but more times than not, we do add our own colors into it to make custom colors. Like this sagey green, for example, is some green chips, a lot of white, a little bit of yellow, and then you also need a little bit of dark chocolate to get it to this shade and tone. And these are relatively light colors since we're working for a custom order, but more times than not at Gateaux, we work with very bright colors. So even when we get red chocolate in or pink, a lot of times we're adding extra candy color dye into that to make it very vibrant and stick out. And basically you just want to make sure that you have enough chocolate in your cup so you can set the entire cheesecake pop into there. And then another couple of tips is to make sure that your cheesecake isn't too cold and your chocolate isn't too hot. Otherwise the temperature swing between the two, you're going to have your cheesecake crack, or the chocolate crack on the outside of the cheesecake. So hopefully that won't happen. So you just want to dip the full pop, and then you really want to just pull away a lot of chocolate, dab the bottom. If you have some brownie showing through, not a big deal. We're going to dip it one more time. And then just set it down. You're going to let it dry. And again, same thing, we'll do the blue. And then you just want to wait, make sure this has dried fully before you try and dip it in another color. And then if you didn't do such a good job of pulling away enough, you can always move them while they're still a little bit wet. And then you're going to avoid that nasty looking foot at the bottom of the cheesecake pop. So you can see it's set up. It's going to start looking less glossy as it dries. And then we're just going to do a half dip in a different color. And again, you're just making sure that as you dip, you're pulling away the excess, wiping the bottom clean. And then by the time you have your second dip, there's really no brownie showing through. And then, use your other colors that you haven't used yet to finish. So we usually do a swirl. I like to hold the cheesecake pop on its side. It lets you have a more controlled swirl on there. And you're just gonna pipe it around. And you let that dry. You're ready to go. The swirls, again, a little harder, a little more controlled. You can do a fun, messy design. I like to call this one spin art. And you just kind of dab it around. It's controlled chaos. So it's a little easier than the swirl, but both festive and fun.